This episode of the Rantcast is brought to you by Factor. Factor helps with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs delivered right to your door. Ready in 2 minutes, Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers straight to your door, so you have more time for your summer activity. Every meal is crafted with functional ingredients. Fresh, never frozen, with over 100 rotating weekly meals, so there's always something new to look forward to. So head to factormeals.com/Lewis 50 off and use code Lewis 50 off to get 50% off plus a free daily greens per box. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this episode. This could all go horribly wrong at any minute. Hello there, and welcome to the 275th edition of Lewis Black's Rantcast, entitled Too Fucking Hot. Yes, and that's what it was. A July 4th that will live in my mind in infamy, as it was just way too close. It was 99, it was 100. Who knew what the real feel was? Meanwhile, coming into the weekend, Thursday, Friday, off the charts here in the city, but it did not help that there was a problem with the air conditioning system in my building. It makes me feel, I feel terrible for anyone who has to deal with this without air conditioning. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you survive it. It was intolerable. It was just intolerable as the temperature rose. Sammy, he was literally fanning himself with his paws. It was delirium set in, and getting him outside. I took him out, take him for a walk, not even to just do the business, and he sat down. We got out the door. He said, "Fuck you," fuck you. Yeah, and that was it. He was not moving. I tried to get him, just at least. Take, let's go to the bathroom on something. Let's at least get rid of the water supply you've been sucking down. No, I don't care. I'm going to hold it. I will hold it until that sun goes away, and even with the sun going away, too much. 2 days of hell, brutal, nonsense, delirium, true delirium, delirious. It was madness, okay? Madness. And then finally yesterday, at least the AC got on eventually by Friday, and it's unbelievable. I don't know how people do it. I've done it. I was in an apartment once where I had just a unit in the window. It was and it was working, and then it broke, and the temp was too much. I don't know if the electricity went down, whatever, and I literally would take a shower, lay down in bed, take a shower, lay down in bed. It was too much. This time, I just, I ended up with a fan, and it was just enough to kind of get through one of the days. And the next day, we stumbled into it being, it was okay, having trouble with the air conditioning system for the building, then having trouble with the AC here, and these are certainly third world problems. But when you don't have it's 100 degrees, and they're telling you that the real feel, it's such bullshit. Because look, if it's the real feel, then it's 110 degrees. It was as hot as it had ever been here, apparently. Some places around here, like Newark, was at a real 107. It's too much, and they can't love it more. The weathermen, oh boy, this is it. It's the hottest. 160 million people will be affected. They love that. Okay, they never used to do that ever. Used to tell you how many people were affected by the heat. And here's where it's going to be hot. Here are the states it's going to be hot. Why don't you sit down and figure out the math of how many? We're all fucked is what it is, okay? You gotta, boy, they love having the number, and then people will die, and God damn it, they're passing out. It's too much. It is just too much. I played golf on Wednesday because I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot, and that was warm and hot, but not like crazy hot. I played 9 holes. What do you give a shit? I don't give a shit. By the end of it, I was insane. Well, I mean, I played 2 extra holes because I'd sucked all day, and then I still continue to suck. I was hoping that maybe by losing muscle control in the heat that I might play better. It's too much. And what it reminded me, being in that heat, is that if I were around during our nation's founding, and this is really the main thing I took from the holiday, having is that I wouldn't have survived, wouldn't have made it. It wouldn't have happened. All right, between the probably the tick bites, the mosquitoes, the wearing the wool or whatever the fuck those guys were wearing. I'd have been running around in the summer in underwear. I couldn't have survived. I could not have survived then. All right, living in a log cabin, it wouldn't have happened. Like taking, traveling through the woods to build a home that was going to be, warm in the winter at least and somewhat cool in shade. I would just die. I would die doing it. I'd probably chop my hand off. I did help build. I've said this time and time again. I helped in my friend Ray and his family. I helped them build a log cabin by Lake Michigami up in Michigan. I'm very proud of that. And but at that point, it was I had a place that I could stay in. It was by the lake. It was up in the Upper Peninsula, so it was cool at night. It was hot in the day. It was enough, and I was young. But I'm not going to make it through when there was absolutely nothing to make your life easier in any sense of the word. And I'm sure that people are like, well, you could have, but, back then they really had, no, I don't give a shit. I'm telling you, I would have dropped fucking dead. Just from the first spider bite, I would have gone into shock. Couldn't have done it. Wouldn't have worked. Wouldn't have gotten through the cold, wouldn't have gotten through the heat. Certainly not gotten through either of them. And not be able to do it. Just not be able to do it. And that is what I learned yet again. It was too fucking hot. I really kind of wanted to go down and see the tall ships coming in. Extraordinary. It's supposed to be an incredible collection of ships ever brought together. Wooden ships on the water, they be free and easy. Whatever that song that they used to sing. The Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And I would go down there. I sound delirious this is my brain casing. Literally, I think, it just beginning to replenish itself. So I wanted to walk down to see this. And people were already down there. Oh, yeah, those people are down there because you know why you're not down there? You're a sissy. You're a sissy, Louis. More than a sissy, I can't do it. I am sissy to the 10th power. And then you'll be people writing in, well, you shouldn't really use that word. Fuck you. Tell me I can't use that word. That's the word I used when I was fucking 7. All right? And I'm using it again because it was fucking intolerable. 4 blocks is all I had to walk to get down by the water where it'd be kind of coolish, but not, I can't imagine, by much. And it didn't make it enough. And then there was already a ton of people down there. So I'd be standing at the back. Would I see the ships? I could barely see the flyover here from, too far from the water. And I could not bring myself to do it. And I felt just like an asshole. Okay? Sissy asshole. That's what I was. And that was my 4th of July. I didn't, and inevitably, they never show, they've had fireworks on the Hudson River that I remember once, and it's always on the east side, and I'm not trundling over there, not at night, not when it's still sweltering out, and that there was going to be thunder, lightning, and there was, and I'm not walking through that. I am not going to die getting hit by lightning trying to see fucking fireworks. That would be I wouldn't even get there to see the fireworks. That would be that would be the fireworks show. I would be the fireworks show. Did you see him? He burst into flame. Son of a bitch. What a dog shit. It was a dog shit. And I'm watching it on television. and we're going to sing America the Beautiful for the 46th time. Let flick, 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 and you can watch. I watched the fireworks on TV. I watched fireworks on TV. Son of a bitch. And I don't spend time in New York during the 4th of July, and part of it is because one of the first two, three times I was in the city, I walked by Washington Square Park, just at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, after the people had shot off their fireworks. It literally looked like a war. It looked like there'd been a battle there. There was smoke. You could barely see the park for the smoke from the fireworks. And people used to toss, they still do, toss the fireworks. They shoot them off on roofs. They're firing them all around you. It's like nuts. So usually I'm out of here. One of the best fireworks things I've seen in the last 30 years of my life was when I worked at the Williamstown Theater Festival, and they had a really great fireworks display. Up close and personal, I got to see it. This was just too bad. 250th anniversary, and I just couldn't pay my respects because it was too fucking hot. Son of a bitch. Really was. And I'm going to quit right now because I'll just read you a little something. I'm leaving town tomorrow, and I want to be sure that the next two episodes have it. And so here we go. Here's a little something. The Republican Ken Paxton, you've heard of him. They've just found out that he was having another affair, but not that I give a shit. Running to represent Texas in the United States Senate, has challenged his Democratic rival, James Tallarico, who can't be Christian enough, apparently, to prove how much you love barbecue. He's challenging his opponent. Meanwhile, this guy is morally challenged. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Even the people who are voting for him say he's, but it doesn't matter because Tallarico's a Democrat and therefore a commie bastard. So Tallarico, he wants him to prove how much you love barbecue. I love barbecue, okay? And I love it more than you do. I can tell you that, Ken Paxton. That's for fucking sure. Not just Texas barbecue, all barbecue. Because there's a ton of it, and that's what makes America great. That's what makes America great. Okay? Son of a bitch. So to prove how much you love barbecue, Tallarico has been dogged by allegations of veganism. Who gives a shit? Huh? Unbelievable, which he denies. What is he? What? And although his campaign recently released a photo of the candidate appearing to eat a turkey leg, Paxton chided Tallarico for using a napkin. What kind of a goddamn fucking... We are being flushed down the toilet as a country, and this idiot is debating whether the guy... All right, there are 12,000 things you might say about Tallarico. The way in which he treats barbecue, and that is fucking... They respond by showing him eating a turkey leg? The fuck is the matter with Democrats? Huh? He chided Tallarico for using a napkin because real Texans don't search for sanitary paper products until after it's all over. What the fuck planet am I on? Huh? Son of a bitch. Too fucking hot, too fucking stupid. And here we are. 250 years of... And I'll grant you, we made it this far, and it's great, and we're being, are we being tested again, or this is really the way we should go? Wow. And we act as if, it's great. But we're babies. We are babies. We're infants in comparison. And it's a remarkable achievement, what was written in Philadelphia. Remarkable. The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Great Experiment. It's an experiment. That's what it is. And it's always been an experiment. And it should continue to be an experiment because that's what's important. And it's an experiment in the sense that you bring everybody here and see if they can live together because you need to find that out. Why? To see if the world can survive. Why? Because it's important. That's what we are. And to continue to fight that and to continue to believe that there's a thing that people shouldn't criticize the folks who the fact that there was some problems morally with those who did the country, and you shouldn't talk about it. Shouldn't talk about the fact that the president once again. You know what, boy? You can't really bring up the subject of the fact that we came over and then essentially went after the native population here. Boy, you really can't bring that up because that it takes away from the bravery. What the fuck? What does it take away from? It takes away from the fact that you want to leave a lesson behind if you do nothing. With the 250, 300 years, if we make it 400, you want to leave the lesson behind. You don't do that to people, okay? You want to show the mistakes. You want to know what those mistakes are. And you want to rectify them and move on, and that's all I got to say. And I want to thank you all for listening again to me just going off on and whining over it being too fucking hot for me and not having air conditioning. There's a Rantcast for you. God, I really do. For those of you who didn't have air conditioning, I feel for you. For those who have to go through it, I feel for you. For those who have to deal with this insanity here, the fact that I worked hard. How come you can't have air conditioning? Only in this country, where we have enough for everybody. Hopefully, we don't even have. We do, and we have enough for everybody, and we still can't build enough spaces for them, and we certainly can't make those spaces comfortable enough. And if you live in Texas, they can't even get their goddamn electrical companies to work. So that is all I have to say. Thank you for paying attention to whatever it is that I've been saying here today. No, I really do appreciate it. That you guys listen to my nonsense. What I really think is important is that you listen to what the folks who are writing in have to say. Listen to their rants. There's some great ones coming up this week and next, and then I'm going to take a break. But I hope you enjoy what you're going to be hearing, and please, I hope you have a splendid week, and I hope that your 4th was spectacular. I really do. For those of you who live in those small towns where you have those parades, good for you. I'm not a big parade man, but I hope you enjoyed yours. Take care of yourselves. That's what really counts. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. That's what's important. That's the lesson. This episode of the Rantcast is brought to you by Factor. It's the end of a long day and you're hungry. There's something healthy in your fridge or pantry that you should be cooking, but you just don't have it in you. Eating healthy isn't a willpower problem, it's a setup problem. That's where Factor comes in. Factor helps with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs, delivered right to your door, so you can hit your nutrition goals this season without the planning, grocery runs, or cooking. Ready in 2 minutes, Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers straight to your door, so you have more time for your summer activity. Factor is meals built around your goals, whether that's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein, or GLP-1 support. Every meal is crafted with functional ingredients, lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole foods, and healthy fats. Factor bans 175 plus ingredients, no artificial colors or sweeteners, no high fructose corn syrup, no refined seed oils, just nutrient-dense food. I've tried Factor and I like it, and I'm looking forward to having their shredded chicken taco bowl soon. Also, their bison pork sausage with smoked Gouda grits is calling my name. Fresh, never frozen, with over 100 rotating weekly meals, so there's always something new to look forward to. They also just launched ready-to-eat salads and have 70-plus add-ons like green juices and snacks to round out your nutrition. So head to factormeals.com/Lewis50off. That's right, and use code Lewis50off to get 50% off plus a free daily greens per box, with new subscription only, while supplies last until September 27. See the website for more details. And thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this episode. Here we go, Mark Wright, pointing out something that really needs to be pointed out, I believe. I've been saying this in my act way back about this fear that people seem to have. But this I enjoyed. Last week's New York City primary election of 3 Democratic Socialist Party members for the House of Representatives has people losing their goddamn minds. One late-night comic spent nearly 10 minutes of his show this week acting like his fucking hair was on fire. In these troubling times of half-truths, let's do some math. 3 representatives from New York plus 1 maple syrup senator equals 4. With 435 voting members of Congress, that means less than 1% of the voting legislative body are Democratic Socialists. Look, I'm as old school liberal as they come, meaning, like many, I realize that my aspirational goals of what our government should be are never fucking coming true. When I look across the aisle, I don't judge the entire group by the most extreme 1% of it. Fuck, if I did these days, I would be staring eyeball to eyeball with some old school Reagan conservative never-Trumpers rather than 99% of capitulating ultra-Christian hypocritical cultist grifters. Well put. Living where I do, I'm going to take a short drive up the road this weekend to Appleton, I know it well, to make sure that slimy fuck Senator Joe McCarthy hasn't dug his way out of his grave. That's why we buried him face down. From Wisconsin with love, and back at you, Mark. Thank you, Mark Wright. It's really true. 4 of them in there in panic, and they haven't even won their elections. I mean, being from New York, they probably will, the 3 of them. It's lunacy. Absolute fucking lunacy. Here's one. It's a little over the top, but I enjoyed it as a result. From Kristen Dianne Collins. And she's pissed. Recently, the Postmaster General, David Steiner, another one of Trump's fucking appointees, has tried to assist the orange bastard cocksucker motherfucker in trying to fuck up democracy. Hey, Steiner, go fuck yourself. The way in which a vote is cast is up to the states, asshole. You're the goddamn Postmaster General, you piece of Trump shit. You better deliver those goddamn ballots as postmarked, you bastard. You, Trump, and all of his conspirators belong in the motherfucking Hague prison. And by the way, Lewis, upon researching, I found out the proper name for the Hague prison is the United Nations Detention Unit and International Criminal Court Detention Center. Jesus H. Christ, even at 45 years old, I guess one learns something new every fucking day after all. Finally, a hearty fuck Trump and fuck Steiner from the educated people of the great state of Illy-goddamn noise. Illy-goddamn noise. Illinois. Illy-goddamn noise. Great, Kristen. I'm glad you could share, and I did not know. I just knew I didn't even know there was a Hague prison. The United Nations Detention Unit. Well, nicely shared, and I'm glad. I hope that helped get a few things off your chest, for sure. From Ken Macklin yelling about someone. No one has yelled about this either. I'm always kind of amazed that it just continues. Folks continue to find things that no one has yelled about, and surprisingly, I'm always surprised that there are things that haven't been yelled about, and this is one of them. I just had my 3rd and last AirBNB nightmare. I reserved a place in Oak Park outside Chicago. The host gave me instructions to get the keys from the garage. When I followed their instructions, I couldn't find them. Not knowing how long it would take for the so-called host to get back to me, I called AirBNB customer service that placed me on hold for 2 minutes and promptly hung up on me. A neighbor to the Airbnb helped me find the keys, which the so-called host described badly. I noticed that one of the house numbers on the rental had fallen off before I went in. Bad sign. On entering, I found a shaky, winding wooden stairway that was nearly impossible to get my heavy luggage upstairs, and being 72 with an arthritic knee was not a great experience. On entering, I noticed 2 tiny beds, I guess you call them full size, that just had a foam mattress with no mattress spring. Despite this, I slept well, curled into a fetal position. There were several open skylights with no shades. In the kitchen, there were 2 hot plates and no stove, no toaster, and barely enough pots and pans. When I used the shower, the control was so convoluted, I had trouble not only getting hot water, but shutting it off. On my last night, the control came off, and I was able, luckily, to put it back on. If I hadn't, they were going to get a water bill that caused their heads to explode later after I left. The so-called host stated I should take my shoes off inside. I did this initially, but at the end just didn't care. Despite this, they allowed dogs and had 2 dog bowls out. The last I heard, dogs typically don't wear shoes. The furniture inside was so cheaply made you could push it over easily. They looked more like fake storage props than real furniture. The only good thing was it was centrally located and only a few blocks from shops and restaurants. In closing, fuck Airbnb and their so-called money-grabbing hosts. If your idea of a vacation is staying at an Airbnb, you're basically playing Russian roulette. Wow. Take my shoes off. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me, Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly.